This holiday, instead of giving them something nice, why not gift them somewhere nice? During the IHG Hotels and Resorts Cyber Sale, you can do just that and save. Shopping is easy in the IHG One Rewards app, where you'll save 20% on travel across 6,000 plus global destinations. And if you want to gift yourself somewhere nice, go ahead. You'll earn more and save more during the cyber sale. Check out all the deals at ihg.com/cyber sale. Terms apply.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi, flying solo, covering this Anthony Todt case. What a morning in this trial. We're going to get to that real quick. But first, we want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Too Cool T-Shirt Quilts. You can go to toocooltshirtquilts.com/pretty lies and alibis. They will know we sent you. Get something real nice. Graduation season is coming up. Wedding season. All right, let's talk about this trial. Holy moly. Okay, so if you've been watching today, and if you haven't, we ended the day yesterday with the detective on the stand. They played the entire confession video, essentially, that was recorded January 15th, which was the day that he was released from the hospital. And if you listened last night, we talked about how he went through everything, how he murdered the kids, whole confession. And so we expected for the detective to be under direct and cross exam today. But the defense had a really quick cross. They asked if he empathized with the people he's interviewing. And he said he really didn't understand the question. And she kept saying, but you've went through training. I think that's just a tactic that police officers use or investigators use to make them feel, or to get the defendant to open up to them, feel like they can trust this investigator. Anyways, she also asked if he used the word strangulation to the medical examiner, and he said, I'm sure suffocation came up, not sure about strangulation. And she asked if there was contradictory information from the autopsy related to what Tony said in the interview, and he said yes. There was no redirect, and all of a sudden the state rests their case. And you could tell the defense had the rug pulled out from underneath them. The looks on their faces was very telling. So the defense asked the judge, he says, hey, we are not ready to present our case. Can we have until tomorrow morning? The judge says, nope, you've had years to prepare. We'll give you 30 minutes. That's it. So the defense opens up. Immediately, there's an objection from the prosecution. They go to sidebar. And then he comes back. And essentially his opening is, hey, we live in a different time now. You guys can take notes. He said the presentation has been difficult for you, but we're going to keep going now. And who do they call to the stand? Tony. Up on the stand. Holy moly, guys. Let's just say this guy is the conductor of the Hot Mess Express. Let's go through some of what he said. This is definitely going to be a 2-episode day in this trial, but I was too excited to wait. So we're going to talk about so far what's happened. As far as I know, testimony is still going on with him on the stand. He's under cross-exam right now, but let's go back to the defense. They start at the beginning. He says he and Megan met in high school. And they got married, and they were traveling physical therapists. And that's why they had this condo in Celebration, Florida as an investment. And then also as just a home. He said they started out in California doing the travel physical therapy work and ended up in Florida. He said her health when they first met, she had been diagnosed with Lyme disease as a teenager. And she also had a mitral valve prolapse, a heart murmur, and arrhythmias. But when they got married, overall, she was pretty healthy. He said it wasn't until March of 2011 that her health problems started, and then he starts crying. Here comes the waterworks. He said she was bit by a bug while they were at a theme park, and then he lists all these health issues that she has. With him on the stand, what he's doing is he's trying to school the entire courtroom. As a physical therapist, he has medical knowledge, of course, and his answers are really long winded and unnecessary. We've seen his defense attorney many times try to kind of pull him off the ledge and say, let me ask more simple yes or no questions. Essentially, you're digging your own grave, buddy. He said she went from a strong, vibrant woman to 90 pounds, and she went from a mom who provided for everything the family needed, including him. He said he was like a kid himself, to a person who could barely walk stairs. So they hired some helpers for the kids. And he said that she was Catholic and she got confirmed so they could get married in the Catholic Church. But he said that she started to seek out other religions. When she got her yoga certification, she started going into more kind of Hindu beliefs. And he said that those beliefs took over her medical outlook and the treatment of herself. He said before their first son was born in 2002, November of 2002, her dad hung himself, and that she was very close with his dad, was not close with her mother. He then added that he was good friends with her dad as well. He said that she has had several miscarriages, the first of which happened shortly after she was bit by the bug in the theme park. So then we jump into fall of 2019. They found out she was pregnant, which he said immediately helped her depression. But they lost this baby, which he said affected her and him both in a profound way. He said he supports her religious choices, but he did not practice with her. Then he says because of the Lyme disease, she had breathing problems and chronic pain. She became hopeless and didn't want to go on. He said he would actually have to shave her legs for her because she couldn't do that for herself. And she was really seeking her own control of her medical care, moving away from regular doctors. And she went from traditional medications to religious followings to decide her care, and also used what they call a medical medium to find out how she needed to treat herself. He said that this religious group that she was a part of introduced her to this whole afterlife thing that is the center of what he is saying was the reason for the murders of the kids and Megan. He said she would use Skype to attend meetings where they would give her prayers. And ultimately, this afterlife component of the religion was essentially reincarnation to a better life. And it made her want to seek better health in her next life and also better relationships, which was mainly her motivation.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Then the defense attorney asked about the suicide note. If you remember, I believe in the interview, he said that they wrote it together and then he printed it after she died. He says that when he came back to the house the day of the murder, she showed him the note. He had no knowledge of it before that, and she was trying to explain why she did what she did. And he said he called her some not so nice names, but the demeanor of the letter was what she had been told in meditations. Tony said that in hearing the news of what she had done, he vomited. He said he told her that he would take personal responsibility for the murders if she got help. And he said he always held her on a pedestal. He said it was the most horrible day of his life and that she died in front of him as well. So then the defense asks about this pie that has been brought up where allegedly she put the Benadryl in. And he said he knew they were having pie, and he said he passed on the pie because he was overweight and had been jogging. And he said he did see what he called a melted purple pie, and he saw that residue of this pie was on the kids' plates. He said he went upstairs and he said, "I'm sorry for being frank, but I had to pee." And Megan was at the top of the stairs. He said he noticed that the house was quiet, and that was very odd, having 3 kids. She brought him in the room, and he said he had been feeling nauseous and started puking. He said she had blood on her shirt, and after he said some words to her, and then he found the kids dead. So we move on to the confession video, the one we saw in full yesterday. He said ultimately he doesn't remember that day at all. The last thing he remembers is falling down the stairs, which he said fractured his neck. He says the next thing he knows, he's woken up in jail. He said yesterday was the first time he actually saw the video. He had gotten the transcript, I think he said in like July of 2020. He said throughout his relationship with Megan, he would take responsibility for her and protect her. He doesn't remember saying he stabbed the kids and that there was blood everywhere. When asked again why he said he killed the kids, Tony said it goes back to his job of protecting his wife. He said he had no clue how they died, and the video showed that. And what he was referring to is how the medical examiner disputed his version of events based on what those autopsies found. He said when he saw everyone dead, he wanted to be with them, and he sliced his wrists, tried to OD, tried to hang himself, used a pellet gun to shoot himself in the liver and the heart. He also said he had recently been prescribed metformin, which is a diabetes pill that you take a few times a day. He said he swallowed the whole bottle. So the defense said, "You were in the house for 3 weeks after the deaths with the bodies. How many times did you try to kill yourself?" And he said he couldn't count, but he estimated it to be 8 or 10 times. Then he was asked, "How hard is it to stab yourself?" And he said, "She did. No freaking way. I chickened out." He said with the suicide attempt with the Benadryl, it made him sleep, so he took more. He said it tasted horrible. And he said he gave like a hand signal. He said that he prepared 5 large glasses of Benadryl and fell asleep before he was done drinking them. He claims he took over 200 Benadryl pills, and he drank an energy drink to stay awake to finish the job. And he said he drank Mountain Dew to ease his nausea. Never heard of that. So they move on to a Huffy bicycle that was in crime scene photos, and he starts crying again. And he says, "My babies." He said that was a Christmas present for Zoe, and he was going to put it together, but he never got to. They also talk about the numerous Christmas gifts that were shown in evidence photos. And his attorney asked, "Did you guys buy gifts for your kids?" And he said some of the things were his and Megan's. They had Zoe a dollhouse, and presents from family were also sent down to them for Christmas. And the defense asked what could have stopped her from killing the kids. And Tony said he doesn't know. She was pain-free the day she woke up. He had no knowledge of this and doesn't know what could have prevented it. And he said he was blindsided, and I quote, "like a Mack truck filled with dynamite," end quote. At this point, he's crying. He asks for a tissue. The defense asks him to collect himself, and then he asks if he can turn around and blow his nose while he's on the stand. Oh my gosh, y'all. This is just, it is literally like a train wreck. You don't want to watch because it's so cringy, but you're intrigued. And his attorney asked if the person who was kind of the shaman of the religion in contact with Megan, and Tony said yes. The defense asked if the religious leader said Megan had crossed over, and Tony said that they had told his sister that and that she had crossed over. And then Tony said if she crossed over and is at peace, that's all I can hope for. So the last question the defense asked Tony is, "Did you kill your family?" And he said no. So that was the morning. It's been crazy. So this evening on part 2, we're going to go through cross-exam, which is going on right now. I don't have a whole lot yet. I'm a little bit behind. I've been trying to keep social media updated on this craziness. So I will be back with you at the end of testimony today. We're going to wrap up what happened. Who knows what's up? I can't understand. Why did the prosecution arrest? They could have brought in so many other witnesses. I want to know about search histories. I want to know whether or not she was actually searching all this crazy religious stuff. Who knows? I doubt it. This guy is cocky. And I'm going to tell you, he is not doing himself any favors with this jury. I will tell you, as soon as cross-exam started, he switched from sad to very hostile. And things like that, going to throw a jury off. Terrible decision to put this guy on the stand. The one thing I do wonder is when the defense said that they were not ready to present their defense today, does that open a door later for Tony to claim ineffective counsel and ask for appeal the case? Who knows? Craziness, y'all. If you have a minute, hop on. Even if you can't watch all of it, it is certainly entertaining for a few minutes. Ultimately, just a sad case. 3 babies and their mommy are murdered, dead. And so we'll see what happens the rest of the day, and we will see you guys soon.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Wells Fargo presents one of the surest ways to grow your money. A Wells Fargo CD account, where you can earn a 5.00% annual percentage yield on an 11-month term with a minimum opening deposit of $5,000. Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/CD rates to open a CD account and start growing your savings with us.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.